Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everyone. Welcome to a special KerbSide Collections this time around with me, Adam Ritchie, a podcast about physical media for physical media collectors. I have the boss of the SPDM Crew Network, which obviously this podcast is a part of, interviewing Mike. Sorry, Mike, just under the pressure of winging this. Hey, sorry. I should start again.
When you call me the boss, that just cracks me up because I don't feel like a boss or anything like that. I just
No.
even in my episode descriptions, I just call myself a fellow podcaster on the SPDM crew. And I had one person who I recently put on the network be like, "So are you just like recruiting for this, or is this your network?" I'm like, yes.
Both. Yeah.
Just both.
Yeah. So sorry, Mike Hilty. I should introduce you properly. Thanks for coming on the show to discuss a different side of physical media collecting. For you guys listening, Mike had to, just to keep it brief, Mike had to give up his collection for reasons we'll get into a bit later down the track. I guess to kick it all off, Mike, what part of the world are you from?
I'm from the US. I am part of those quote unquote flyover states that nobody cares to talk about or anything like that. Even though I live close to the third largest city in the US. I'm from the Chicagoland area. So I get it why people don't think about like the middle states, because LA and New York are the two big cities. But Chicago's up there too, and Chicago's pretty great. So I mean,
do you know what? I live in an equivalent, the equivalent city in Australia, because we have Sydney and Melbourne, who are the two. There's no flyover states in Australia. There's only 6 of us, but Sydney and Melbourne are the two dominant cities. So they're the LA and New York of Australia. But I live in effectively Brisbane, which is like our Chicago. Like that's the third biggest city in the country, and it is the best, to be honest. Like, because just climate and weather-wise, and we're not as busy and populated, and it's a bit more laid back and whatnot. But except for our highway is pretty shit, to be honest. It's a congested mess. It's actually ranked as the 10th most congested highway in the world, which is ridiculous. Yeah. So we've got that claim to fame.
Well, you're also your claim to fame also, because my wife and kids and I, we went to Brisbane for a day just so that we could visit some Bluey stuff. And boy, when we went to go visit, we did not feel that Brisbane is capturing the Bluey-ness at all. But apparently, since we've gotten there, there's been a Bluey theme park or like a Bluey land that's open. There has been
the
boats
ferry
that we missed all of that, and that's fine. It is what it is. We took a bus and we saw like a Bluey mural at a school, and that was the most Bluey thing that we saw. So
it would be a great, because Bluey's massive in America. Like, you guys love it. And it would be a really smart thing for the Brisbane Council to just lean into that a bit and getting the people. Because, I mean, it's honestly be good. I mean, if you guys came just for a day trip from Chicago, I mean, that's a big deal. Like, that's bringing money into I mean, maybe I should pitch it to them
and make a ton of money.
Make some royalties. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Well, because here's a good example of that. Because I feel like Brisbane is very synonymous with Bluey, and you're right, Bluey is a big deal. Just have some type of map that says, hey, here's all of the big things that have been seen in Bluey that you could see in Brisbane. So for example, we went to the botanical gardens and we're like, oh, I recognize that from Bluey. We went to, by your recommendation, the South Bank area, and there were a couple things that we saw over there that were like, oh, I recognize this from Bluey. and that was, by the way, that was a great recommendation, because we spent like a solid half of our day at South Bank. And
South Bank is great.
The funniest thing that happened there was that we were getting food, and my youngest got chicken nuggets. And boy, those birds, they are shameless. Absolutely shameless.
The bin chickens?
The bin chickens, exactly. One snatched a chicken nugget directly from from the container, and my daughter, my youngest, was so incensed. She was like, "Hey!" And from that point on, she was just like holding on to it
They're
and
hungry,
scared of
man.
the birds.
They are
And
scumbags. Yeah,
I'm like, dude, you are in their turf, so you need
yeah,
to eat quick and you need to cover up your food.
absolutely. They're shameless, like you said. They're just that's mine, that's mine, that's mine, and
Yeah.
you're just in the
Mhm.
way. Basically, is the way they
So,
see it.
but all of this to say, in Chicago, they famously filmed Batman Begins and The Dark Knight in Chicago.
Yep.
And they filmed a fictional city. It's not like it's Chicago that they're
Mm,
filming. It's Gotham City. But Chicago leaned into this to be like, "Hey, if you want to take there's all these like, hey, do you want to see all the filming locations for Batman Begins and The Dark Knight? Come to Chicago and we'll take you on these tours." And people
mm.
just are capitalizing on this like no other. So, if Chicago can capitalize on filming for a fictional city,
Mm.
then Brisbane should capitalize on Bluey.
They really
That's
should.
all I'm saying.
They're missing an opportunity. I agree. No, yeah, it would. As I said, it would get people in, and Brisbane needs the money to pay for our Olympics in 7 years. Our new stadium, which they still don't know what they're doing with the stadium. It's quite funny, actually. It might not even go ahead the way it's going. They just couldn't organise. In Australia, Mike, we say couldn't organise a route in a brothel. On which, so that's the way the local councils are working for these Olympics at the moment. They just couldn't organise. Yeah, it's laughable. Anyway, let's get on to your physical media history because, as I alluded to at the start, you don't really have physical media at the moment, but you used to have a collection. So tell us what happened. Just in your words, what's happened there?
So, a couple things happened is that we live in a small house, and my physical media collection was taking up a lot of space. But it was taking up a lot of space in our basement. And
Mhm.
the reason why is because we have switched to pretty much we predominantly stream everything now,
Right.
which has its benefits. It really does. But it also has some of its detractions. So for example,
Mhm.
my children do not know what it's like to live in a world where the content that they want to consume is just at their beckoning call. So
Yeah.
whenever we go to a hotel or whenever we go visit family, like we visited family in Australia and New Zealand, and the only thing that they had to watch was cable, they were incensed. They're like, "How come I can't just watch Bluey right now?" Like kids, believe it or not, this is how we used to watch TV. Like
Yeah.
things were scheduled, you had to
Yes.
watch commercials.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I've spoiled my children to
Yeah.
an unreasonable degree. So so we were predominantly streaming everything, and I've got a pretty healthy collection of digital copies
Right.
of movies.
Right.
So between that and my sister, who also has a pretty robust collection of digital media,
Hmm.
I thought, you know what? I think it might be time because it's all of these movies are just collecting dust, and I felt like they if they could be used other ways, then so be it. So
Okay.
I listed a bunch of them and most of them got sold. There's only a handful that I have left. And the
Hmm.
handful that I have left, it's mainly in two categories. The ones that nobody wants, because believe it or not, Adam, there is not a lot of people in the world who wants a chewed up copy of The Usual Suspects on Blu-ray that doesn't have a proper case. Weird, right?
That's it.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants that.
That's rude.
But the other thing is that I kept the ones that I was just super sentimental about, which for me it's the ones that I got as like gifts from my wife. And I've
Mm.
got a handful of movies from New Zealand that she got me, and I kept all of those.
So are they New Zealand movies or are they just she happened to buy them in New Zealand? Like are they
So
is it
they
like
are
Once Were Warriors and things like that?
they are movies that they were filmed or by New Zealand filmmakers. So
Right.
movies like Whale Rider,
Yeah.
movies like The World's Fastest Indian, There's one that's
What?
called Separation City. There's one that's
Okay.
called I did unfortunately keep the copy of Black Sheep that she got me, which I was like, okay, that's fine. That I will keep this. And then there's yeah, it's I I kept all of those because they were they were just movies that I had sentimental value with.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So those are the ones that I kept.
So there's no, I was thinking that you might have lost them in a move or something, but you actively got rid of them. So do you, I mean, yeah, like I said at the start, this is going to be a different aspect on the physical media collector's journey, but do you have any regrets in getting
Of
rid of what
course,
you, yeah?
I do. I do. I do. So there's a couple things that I kind of ran into with this is that one, I thought getting rid of that because like it broke my heart to get rid of them, but
Yeah,
I
it
felt
does.
like it was time. And you know when you're at a point in your life where it's like, you know what, I think I'm good with this aspect. I don't think that I'm going to
Mm,
continue with this. I've
okay.
been collecting movies since 5th grade for
Mm,
me.
wow.
Like, so, and the problem that I ran into with it is back in 5th grade, the main thing that I had was VHS tapes.
Hmm.
So then came the move to convert all of those VHS tapes to DVDs.
Yep.
That was a bit of a pain, but also a necessary thing because I'm not going to just continue to buy VHS tapes for things that you could just get on Blu-ray for less expensive and better quality. Like,
Yeah, of
okay.
course. Yeah.
But then there's the switch from Blu-ray to which one are you going to do? Are you going to do it in HD DVD or are you going to do it in
Mhm.
Blu-ray? And Blu-ray very thankfully won out versus
Yeah.
HD DVD, which
Yeah.
sure. So once we got to the 4K, that's when I was like, dude, I can't
It's too
keep up with
much.
this. It's too much. So I ended up like the other reason why I got rid of it is because I'm not using any of them. And
Right.
that was kind of the big thing is because we are getting to the point where it's like if we're not using it, do we need it? And
Okay. Did the Marie
it was
Konto thing wasn't bringing
it
you
was
joy?
it was still bringing me joy because
Mm.
I loved that collection. But sacrifices have to be made,
Hmm.
and if there's things that we can give up that we're not using anymore and we could give to other people that will bring them joy. I also had to put my money where my mouth was because for my kids, if I'm asking them to get rid of their toys that they quote unquote love so
Yeah.
much, then I can get rid of something that I love, but it's just collecting dust downstairs, even if it is a collection that I worked really hard to build.
Yeah, it'll be heartbreaking. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
it would be heartbreaking. So why weren't you watching them? Why weren't you using them? Like, what was it's just because of
Because we were,
streaming?
yeah, because we were watching everything on streaming. And so there were a couple instances where it would have been nice to go down to the basement and pick out a DVD because we've had a couple instances where the internet goes down.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you know this, Adam, but if the internet goes down, you can't stream shit. You can't
No,
do anything with it.
no.
So I will never forget the first time that I showed my oldest daughter how a Blu-ray player works. So she gets the disc, and the first thing that she does with the disc is put it to her ear. She's like, I don't get it. What do I
What?
do with this?
That's amazing.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've never felt like I failed my children more than that moment. Because like
Yeah.
these are pretty this is a pretty big aspect of my life. So I showed
Mm.
her how to put in the Blu-ray or put it in the Blu-ray player and how do you go through how do you navigate the menu and she's like, "Oh, this is actually kind of interesting. There's other stuff here." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, there's
Yeah.
special features, there's trailers, there's
Mm.
so it was interesting going through that because I think another reason why I decided to get rid of my Blu-ray collection and movie collection is because my sister works at a library and she's always saying, "Hey, don't forget the library is a thing." And I
Okay.
agree with her. I guess support your local library. I
So as
suppose,
in
of
to rent the movies from the library.
yeah.
Do they have everything though? Because I'm pretty well, I was going to say I'm very confident, but I know for a fact that in Australia the libraries will only stock movies if they're based on a book.
So that is not how it is at my local library. So
Okay.
they have a pretty robust collection of movies that you could get. And also, if there's a movie out there which I've run into numerous times between all the podcasts that I'm involved with, and also I have a SIF Pop like weekly or a monthly article where I talk about a TV show that's paired
Yep.
with the movie that's coming out. And like a good example of this, have you ever seen or heard of the show Dark Angel? It's a James
Yeah.
Cameron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was that the one with Elijah Duchky?
Oh, that's Dollhouse. The
Dollhouse,
uh
sorry. I
so
have heard of Dark Angel was Jessica Alba, wasn't it? There we go.
yes.
I knew it was a hot chick either way.
The not streaming anywhere. So I'm like,
Oh
shit,
wow.
I picked something that's not streaming anywhere. So I reached out to my
Um,
sister. I was like, hey, I see that you have season one. How can I get season two? And
mhm.
she said, we've got a thing called interlibrary loan where we could get it from
Yeah.
another local library. So they've got a whole network of things where somebody lights the beacon and be like, I need this copy of this weird show that my
Mm.
stupid brother is wanting to watch. And I was able to get it that way. So, and around the time that I got those or I needed to watch those movies, I got COVID. So I was like, perfect. I'm
Yeah.
just sequestering myself in the middle room
Yeah.
and I'm excuse me, I'm just
Good
gonna watch
excuse to
these.
sit and watch them. Yeah. So
Mhm.
would you? I was gonna. I've got a lot of quick questions rattling around in my brain. I should have been writing them down as we've been talking. But would you have any plans? Well, okay. First one. Do you still have anything to play a movie on, like a Blu-ray or a DVD player? So.
Yeah, we've got a Blu-ray, or we've got Blu-ray players with each of our TVs, and
Mhm.
then I also have a PS5 as well.
Ah,
So
okay.
we
You
def
play
we
4K on there
definitely
if you.
yeah, so we definitely do have something
Mm.
to play physical media. Because
And also, no, sorry.
because because we ran into a situation where the internet was out for like 2 weeks because like
Oh,
an internet line was cut down. So
oh wow.
and like the hotspot can only take you so far. So we decided instead, let's just get a bunch of Blu-rays and just call it a
Mm,
day from the library. And
mm,
that worked out great. But as
yeah.
soon as that internet came back on, the kids were like, "Let's watch Bluey." I'm like, "We've got a Bluey DVD that can just
Yeah.
take care of all this for
Yeah.
you." It's like, "Yeah, but it's not the same because I have to change the disc." Like, you
That's
will
part of the fun
never
though, right? That's part of the
you will
fun.
never understand the struggle that you have. It's like if you're watching a
Mm,
TV show in particular. So this happened a lot with the show Friends for me, and this happened a lot with the show The Simpsons.
yeah.
Once you watch all the episodes on the disc, you've got a choice to make. You
Yeah.
can either, you know what, maybe I'll go outside and be social for a little while. The other choice is I'll just get my ass up and change the disc and call it a day. And
Yeah.
when I got a 5 DVD, like a 5 disc DVD player, boy, that changed the
Oh,
game a
I,
lot because
oh,
that means I could take care of all of those and
yeah.
then not have to get up at all.
That's what I think they need to bring back because I have quite a few TV series that would be great just to have a multi-disc player that would just play them. That'd be amazing. I didn't know they actually I know they existed for cars, like you can have CD stackers that would just sit in your car. I didn't know they had it for DVD players and so forth. I did want to go back a step and ask about the library. Do the library just have DVDs or do they do Blu-ray and 4K as well? Or is it literally just the cheapest?
They've got DVDs and Blu-rays. They're starting to build up their 4K collection now that
Hmm.
more and more people are starting to request it. So I may dabble my toes a little bit and kind of see because I'm gonna admit something to you, and please don't judge me too much. I've I have not seen anything in on a 4K disc yet. So
Oh, okay.
I'm I
No judgment,
am
absolutely no judgment, but you're in for a treat.
I'm looking to see if because I feel like I'm going to notice the difference. Like
Mm,
I will because I used to sell TVs at a department store, and people were like, I don't see the difference between the refresh rate. I'm like, you don't see it because you're what I like to call dumb. But I was like, the action is smoother,
Mm.
the movements are different. Like, if you can't see it, then this TV is not for you, plain and
Yep.
simple.
Yep.
And I'm hoping that's the same thing for me when it comes to 4K, because if there's something out there that I'm curious enough to check out 4K, and if it catches my
Yeah.
attention, I may go back to collecting movies if I'm being
Yeah.
perfectly
Well,
honest.
there's a couple of things there that I'd like to ask you about. So, and even recommend that if you do check out 4K, don't use your PlayStation. You won't get the best out of your PlayStation to watch 4K. Definitely get yourself a dedicated 4K player. I'm not sure
Mhm.
what TV you own. Like, do you have a decent 4K TV as well?
Yeah, we've got all Sony TVs,
Oh,
and
nice. Yeah, cool,
yeah.
cool. I actually watched one Friday evening, which I thought was an impeccable transfer of one of the most amazing 4Ks I've seen. It's not even in Dolby, it's just HDR, and the sound is only 5.1. It's not Dolby Atmos, but it's still one of the most peak reference quality movies to watch on 4K, and that was Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk. Insanely crisp and beautiful to see in 4K. I'd recommend one of those type of titles to get your
Mhm.
first watch in. Maybe even if you have a Blu-ray, check out the Blu-ray first and then see the difference because it's. I remember when VHS went to DVD, right? And if you watch a VHS, like the quality is good because that's all you know. And then you go to DVD and go, oh, this is all right. This is, yeah, what's the big deal? But then it's when you go back and watch a VHS, you go, ah, that's the difference. Like,
I get it now.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
when you watch a 4K and go, I don't know the fuss. But then if you put in the Blu-ray of it, like, and it's not in every case because some Blu-rays are amazing. Like my Terminator Blu-ray is fantastic. I never bothered upgrading Terminator to 4K because the Blu-rays, and that's a movie I watch once every 5 years if it's lucky. I don't see a need to upgrade that because the Blu-ray is just amazing.
Mhm.
There's quite a few that Blu-rays. It's not going to make much difference to upgrade to a 4K, but some are absolutely worth it, and that's where you need to do your research, really.
Yeah, and that was that was a bit of the predicament that I had when it came to switching movies from DVD to Blu-ray, is
Hmm.
because I wanted to try to be pretty selective of the movies that I wanted to put in Blu-ray, because
Yeah,
the the big crux of it, also it came down to money as well, because this
absolutely.
is
Yeah,
this is an expensive hobby to have.
yeah,
And not only that, but I will give it credit where credit is due. Nobody could say that they couldn't figure out a Christmas or a birthday present for me. You could just get me a
mm,
movie and I will just
mm,
call it a day.
yep,
And those were oftentimes just the thing that I would ask for the most. And when it came to my Blu-rays, there were certain things that I like prioritized getting onto Blu-ray. So big big blockbuster movies that would look
yeah,
beautiful in
yeah,
Blu-ray. Those
yep,
were pretty obvious. And
hmm
the other thing that I prioritized was animation as well, because
yeah,
animation on Blu-ray looks fantastic. And
does, yeah,
I like a good example of that for me is because I used to work the same department store that I sold TVs at. We had a copy of the movie Meet the Robinsons on
yeah,
DVD and on Blu-ray. I don't know why, but we did. So we would oftentimes play both just to kind of keep things fresh. And it's just the devil's in the details. There was one
yeah,
scene where there's a door, and the door looks pretty plain on DVD, but boy, when you put it in Blu-ray, the door looks fantastic.
yeah,
And
yeah,
most people wouldn't notice that because it's a fucking door. But I
yeah,
notice that stuff,
yeah,
and that stuff matters to me. So that's why I was like, okay, there are certain things that are definitely worthy of being of me converting this Blu-ray or this DVD into a Blu-ray. So
yeah, absolutely. Wait till you see a Pixar movie with HDR, like a Coco or something, and you've got that HDR, the extra brightness of the boldness of the colors. Like It'll blow your mind. Like it's
Mhm.
insanely good. Like, I mean, you can watch it on Disney Plus in the same with the HDR, Dolby Vision and whatnot. But when you put the disc in, it is just that little bit better. And like if you notice those things in the door, in that door, you're going to notice because it is an overarching, it's a holistic experience when you watch. I mean, some people think you're going to nerd out and go, oh, so what? The door's a bit more brighter, but it's not just the door; it's everything around it, and it just makes the entire frame just so much more
Yeah.
impressive. But again, it's some 4Ks aren't all great. Like my best example of that is The Departed. It was not worthy. I mean, it looks fine in the 4K is not bad, but it's barely an improvement on a Blu-ray, honestly. Like it's just not
Mhm.
worth the money to upgrade. So I don't think they put their heart and soul into upgrading that because it is on a standard 50 gigabyte disc. So again, when you do get upgrades, I'm just again recommendations if you get back into the game. Arrow and Kino Lorber do fantastic transfers. So if you
Mhm.
get a movie from either of those, you're probably going to be looking at something really good because they put them on 100 gigabyte discs, which means that the highest bit rate they possibly can be. And it's just going to look mint on your screen.
And that's where also like just being selected. I think when I collected movies and TV shows for that matter, I, I would try to buy I would buy stuff for the sake of expanding my collection. That includes
Yep.
movies that I haven't seen yet. That includes movies that are, and I'm a completionist at heart, which is both
Yeah.
a blessing
Yeah.
and a curse.
Yeah.
So
I'm the same.
let's take let's take your example of Terminator, for
Mm-hmm.
example. I would have no problems getting the first two, maybe even the third Terminator movie.
Yep.
But the completionist in me would be
You
like,
have to get the
well,
rest.
I got to get the rest.
Yeah.
And that's problematic for a couple reasons. One, it's money down the drain
Financial. Yep.
on shit movies that I know I'm never going to watch again. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
there's I can tell you, Adam, with relative certainty that if I had my giant movie collection still, and giant
Mm.
is a relative term because I
Mm.
thought my movie collection's pretty big, but hey, it's a big world out there, and there's people who have like 10
Right.
times the amount of physical
Do
media
you,
that I
do you know
have.
how many yet? Do you know what you had? How much you had at the time?
At the time that I sold it, I had about 700 movies, and then
Okay.
I had, I think, about 120 seasons of television. So
Oh
a
wow.
pretty
Yeah. Okay.
a pretty healthy
Yeah.
collection. Uh,
That's nothing to sneeze at.
so I, I can tell you with relative certainty that if I'm looking at my movies and I pass the Terminators, there's no way in hell I'm gonna be like, you know what, Terminator Genesis. I feel like that's the one that I'm gonna watch
Mm.
tonight. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like maybe Salvation if I'm feeling, pretty bad about life. I even kind of enjoyed Dark Fate a little bit. Maybe that's like a once a decade watch. There's
It's
no
not worth 40
way.
bucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way in the world that I would be like, you know what? I think Terminator Genesis is the one that I'm going to watch tonight. It's just
That's
no.
yeah, and I'm a little bit similar to you with my completionist activities, and that's you mean you talk about Terminator, and I would my sister comparison would be with the Alien films because I'm not the Alien films don't aren't nostalgic for me. I never watched them when I was younger and fell in love with them. I watched them as an adult and think, yeah, they're good, they're fine, like really good. I'm actually one of the idiots who I actually really love Prometheus and Covenant more than the other aliens. So if I own them all on Blu-ray, but if I upgraded one of them to 4K, it's gonna mean I have to upgrade them all to 4K, and I don't want to spend, which is going to cost me $300 to do that for movies I might watch once or twice more in my life. Like that's silly to me. And yeah, once you get to a certain point in your collecting, you have to really start rationalizing,
Mhm.
especially your financial situation when you do that type of thing. But yeah, I totally feel that completionist part of you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly the same.
So another good example of that, and something both very near and dear to both of our hearts, is The Simpsons as well.
Yes.
Because The
Yeah.
Simpsons, there came a point at around season 10 where I eventually had to make a decision and be like, do I want to keep going with this? Because with all due respect to seasons 11 through like 35, 36, I'm probably not going to watch those very often.
No,
And
no.
which this isn't to say that anything beyond season 10, there's gems all over the
Oh,
place.
I think up to season 12, after season 12, 13 and a half, 12 and a half, that's when it's like, okay, we can probably do without that.
Yeah.
I,
But
I, I
this
will
is
I will go and say up to season 12 is really still worth watching.
so, but this is where my brain short circuits and is like, do I, for the sake of completing the collection,
Mm,
do I continue getting those?
mm.
And with TV seasons, it's different because TV seasons, it's more expensive, it's more space on the shelf as well.
Yes. Yep.
Depending on if you get just the regular box set or if you get like the special collector's edition that has, the shape of like the head of one of the characters, which
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
You can't put it on the shelf.
I did that for a couple seasons and then I'm like,
Yeah,
I can't do this anymore.
yeah,
It doesn't fit on the shelf properly
yeah.
and it freaks me out and I don't like it. But they look cool. So
Yeah.
what do? Do I just get them? Do I, phase
Mm,
them out and have them, kind of occupy their own shelf space? Do I just sack up and be like, you know what? It doesn't really fit on the shelf because shelf
it's a tough
space
choice.
matters. So
Yes.
shelf
Yes.
space matters. And if I can just get everything and it's all clean and it looks good, then
Hmm.
I'll just do that and nobly sacrifice my precious Simpsons DVDs just to get that. And yeah, that's again just the completionist in me where I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
A bit of a sore topic for me, The Simpsons, because I'm a massive Simpsons fan as much as you are, but one of my biggest regrets, physical media wise, I never brought a Simpsons DVD box set because when they were coming out, I was downloading torrents and I would just have them on a hard drive. So I have them on an old hard drive around somewhere, but it doesn't plug into anything I own anymore because I don't have. So now it's all on Disney, which I have Disney, but I don't know. It's not the same. Like I'd love to have
It's
it. I'd love to find those first 12 seasons, but they're really expensive even to find on eBay now. Like they're not cheap anymore. And again, it's just one of those things. It's like I wish I had a gotten. I recently, again to compare, I went op shopping, which thrift storing, as you guys say, and I picked up 8 seasons of South Park because I'm like I love South Park and it's something I want to watch, but I've got seasons 1 through to 7 and then season 10. So I'm missing seasons 8 and 9. And now I know they're out in the shelf. And in the back of my mind, ever since I've gotten it, I'm like, I need to find season 8 and 9. I want to do it. And I went to 4 op shops locally around me on this weekend, just now, as we're talking in early February, to look for them specifically. Couldn't find them. And it's bugging me. I need them. I need season 8 and 9 on my shelf. And now, obviously, we're up to season 20 something mid-20s,
yeah.
but whether I get them is the first 10 will be fine. I don't know whether I want them.
Well, and this is also where potentially I, as somebody who used to collect media, this is where some of the regret comes in, is because
Mm.
this, in particular with TV shows, because with movies, you're not going to find that very often where a movie is going to be drastically different on streaming
Yeah.
versus on a physical disc.
Hmm.
With TV shows, though, and I'll point to South Park and I'll point to Scrubs in particular. With
Okay.
South Park, there are a couple episodes of South Park they will
Mm.
not stream
Yes.
anymore.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that have garnered the most controversy with
Yep.
the depiction of Muhammad or a
Yeah.
depiction of religious relics, which
Hmm.
I get why they won't do that
Yeah.
because it's I just get it.
Yeah. No.
However, if I want to watch those episodes, you sure as hell could watch those on a disc. And those, it was interesting because that one wasn't a problem, but then another one was. And
Yeah.
but
They've done the
anyways,
same with episodes of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as well, because they're on Disney Plus here. They're probably on Hulu FX in America. And there's a couple of episodes where some of the cast they wear brown face because it was, I don't know, not that it was fine at the time, but it wasn't as bad as it is now. So those episodes just aren't on streaming service, but
Yeah.
they will be on a disc.
So, and then the same thing with Scrubs, because I think the show The Wonder Years ran into the same problem, is that the
Mm.
licensing for the songs was different for the disc versus, or the disc, or when it was actually showing on live TV
That's
versus the
interesting.
streaming service. So the songs are different. And some of the songs changes I don't like. And for somebody who knows those DVDs inside and out, because
Yep.
I've watched them a zillion times,
Right.
I notice things like that. And sure, they may not bother some people, but it bothers me. Like, this is not how I watched it before. It's different. And this is an instance where I say it's a bad difference. And I'm like, no, it's just my brain cannot
It's an annoying
rationalize it.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to come back into the game then, and well, how do I ask? What's the likelihood of you wanting to collect physical media again or ever picking it back up? Is it likely or highly likely, extremely unlikely? Yeah, survey type of questions.
So if we're doing survey style questions, I would say that it is likely, not very likely right
Mhm.
now.
Okay.
And so it's going to be dependent on mainly one thing, which is we need to move into a bigger house. So when
Right.
we move into a bigger house, then maybe I will pick it up, and maybe
Mhm.
also when I'm more financially sound ground, then yeah, I will pick it back up. But
Yeah.
for
Fair
now,
enough.
I'm okay with just streaming for now. But I will say this as well. One of my favorite things to do when it was a thing was to go into certain stores and browse the movies. And
Mm.
right
Mm.
now, my local Best Buy has no movies. My local
No,
Target has no movies anymore.
correct. Yeah.
The only place that I can actually go and browse movies is Walmart. And
Mhm.
boy, their selection is fine, I guess.
Ah,
But
really? You
I say that kind of facetiously because they've got movies, and maybe I'm just, clamoring for any movie, anything, and I'm just okay with their selection, but it's also not very good as well.
That's interesting. Because I know when Best Buy pulled out of selling physical media in America, like about a year ago, that a lot of Walmart took up a lot of those contracts. So I assumed that, and I see people post on social media about Walmart's collections and their exclusives. They seem to have quite a few good options. Maybe not all, probably just tentpole movies mainly, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of steel books, a lot of 4K releases and special editions. But you guys, so that surprised me to say that Walmart don't have a fine selection, but you guys also have Barnes and Noble. So do you have them near you to go and get those Criterions 50%? No.
Not anymore. Most of the Barnes and Nobles around me closed. There's one that is semi close to me, but
Mhm.
it's a bit more of a process to get there. And
Right.
we've got shopping malls, they've got some movie stores, but they've scaled down a lot because nobody's buying physical media. And it's probably because of assholes like me that are like, "Oh, I don't see the value in physical media anymore." But then but then I
Yeah.
run into a situation where it's like, I can't stream this anywhere. So
People are coming back. There's lots of
yeah.
articles about people coming back to physical media.
Can I pause for 1 second? Because I
Sure.
got one kid that's looking at me really quick.
So if you were to come back and buy, I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that you would just come straight back into buying 4Ks rather than collecting everything else, or any other form.
Probably. Yeah, probably because if I'm going to get back into the game, it would be probably starting with the 4K multi-packs, because
Yeah.
I'm somebody who I appreciate the fact that if they can give me 4K DVD or 4K Blu-ray digital copy, all of that, I'll take that. That's
Yep.
fine. And also, I'd probably be very selective of which ones that I'd want to get first, because
Yes.
it
Yeah.
would be I'd probably base it on priority level in terms of which ones that I'm going to want to watch and ones that I'm going to want to preserve in case they leave streaming or they go out of print. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
got to be more selective about
it
stuff
can
like
be a
that.
real problem, the out of print stuff, because I've said on this channel a lot that movies come to people at different times in their lives. And by the time,
Mhm.
like this, I've had a lot of movies that have come to me in the last year or two, and I'm like, I'd love to own that. And there's nowhere for it to be found. Like, I've got too many examples to list, and I've had to maybe import them from overseas or whatnot because they still have them, or I don't know, for whatever reason they still have them, but they're cheap enough. And that's okay. But I'd like to support an Australian store and just go in to one and just buy it. Like, we have one store in the country that sells physical media in the entire country, and that's our version of your Best Buy. Basically, they sell hi-fi and stereos and TVs and stuff. But yeah, it's quite frustrating. So when things go out of print, and there's a lot of nuance behind the licensing factors behind and why
Yeah.
that happens. But yeah, that's why it's good to get it when you can get it. And at the moment, there's a lot of good distributors out there rehashing a lot of older movies now, just upgrading them and reformatting them. What's the word? Remastering them is the word I'm looking for into
Mm.
4K, and it's a good service, to be honest, because it's like I said, you might watch a movie that's 20 years old and you'll never be able to find it on physical media, even though you want it. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sure where else to go from there, Mike. To be honest, is there anything else you wanted to add to this? I mean, we'll probably hang up and I'll have a million other questions. To be honest, it's one of those type of conversations. Do you collect any
Let
other
me
type of physical media? Is there anything else you
No,
collect? No?
I used to collect comics and I used to collect
Mm,
books as well, but
yeah.
ran into the same issue with books in particular where like
Mhm.
these are just collecting dust and I'm just getting these for
Yeah.
show at this point. So unlike with the movies, I we put those all in a bin and now they're just collecting dust in a bin, or the bins are collecting dust rather. So and we've got and I've since discovered the joy of the audiobook, and I'm like,
Ah, yeah.
I'm I'm not sure that I will be going back to
Ever
a
read again?
physical book, because if the audiobook can give
Mm,
me the same experience and continue to capture my attention, then I'll
mm,
probably just do that instead. And as somebody who graduated with an English degree, I get it. That is backwards thinking, but
mm.
it's just
It's
like you said,
convenience. They've made our
that
life
is
too convenient.
that audiobooks just came to my life at a particular point where it's like I
Yeah.
gotta just go with this. And the comics thing, that was short-lived. I tried with
Yeah.
comic books, and I think the problem I ran into, unlike with movies, is that the motivation to keep up just was very
Yeah.
low because there's
Yeah.
just so much out there. So, but when I collected movies and TV shows, the
Mhm.
motivation was to keep up with that because I was also dependent on depended on by my fraternity brothers and my friends from college, that
Okay.
if they needed to borrow a movie from somebody,
Mm.
that they could come to me and they can get something. Like, cool, because I didn't carry all of my movies, like all the cases. I just put them in like a old school case
Ah,
logic thing where you could
right.
have like
Pack of sleeves.
200, 256 movies, or 256 discs rather, because I'm one of those people who's like, I want the super special edition. I want the 4 disc versions of things.
Okay.
I liked all of that stuff because
Yep.
I
Yep.
like the special features. And
Hmm.
but for a lot of my friends, they're just like, just give me the movie. Like, I just want to watch the movie. I'm like, fine,
That's a,
you fool.
no, that's an interesting question though, because I mean, I don't normally ask that of my guests is, do you like special features? Do you prefer? Because what I found is that most people like to have special features, but don't really find the time to watch them because most people will say, and I agree, I'm in the same boat as that. When you're watching special features, it's like, I could just be watching another movie here. I don't want to know about the movie that much, maybe, but they're always good to have in case you need them, right? So, but you used to watch special features quite a bit,
Certain movies I would watch the special features
right?
of. So
Favorites?
a couple favorites, The Matrix. The special
Mm,
features behind The Matrix
hmm.
were so interesting about how they came up with the concept, how the stunt work, the special effects, all of that was really great. And that actually started because there was one Christmas I went to visit my uncle in California. It was the Christmas before the alleged Y2K was going to be a
Ah,
thing.
yeah. Right.
And he had a pretty large movie collection as well, but
Hmm.
he wasn't ready to convert anything to Blu-ray or to DVD yet, so he had all
Uh,
VHS tapes.
right.
So my sister and I watched the VHS of The Matrix so much that we would watch the movie and we would wait for the credits and watch all the special features and
Wow.
then just turn to each other and say, "Do you want to watch it again?" Be like, "Yeah, yeah, let's do it."
Wow.
So
I
I
literally only
developed
watched
a
The Matrix during
special,
the week, like about five days ago again. Yeah.
yeah. So there's that. And like any Marvel or X-Men or Spider-Man movie, I'll watch the special features of. There
Hmm.
was actually one recently where my daughter, she was watching the first Harry Potter movie on
Oh, yeah.
on HBO Max, and
Hmm.
they have a special edition where they have Chris Columbus doing the commentary during
Oh,
certain parts. And she was like, "That's actually really cool how they, to learn more about that stuff." Like
yeah.
that's good. So comforting to know. So Harry Potter will probably be up there, and Lord of the Rings. So
Mm.
basically big
Yeah,
franchise
yeah.
movies that I would watch them. And then there'd be certain movies and TV shows that I'd love to just learn more about stuff. Like any Simpsons, like The Simpsons and Friends, they did commentary on certain episodes, and
Oh, for
eventually they did
real.
commentary on all the episodes. So I always liked just kind of seeing where people's heads were at in terms of
Mm.
story, in terms of jokes, different things like that too.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's good. I mean, I like that someone watches them. I mean, yeah, I mean that's great to hear. I mean, it means they're being made for a reason, I think. Because I mean, yeah, with my special features watching is generally limited to watching bloopers. I don't really watch much more special features. I think I've watched two commentaries in my life for a film, and one of those was 12 Monkeys, and I couldn't even tell you the other one.
Well,
Right
because
now.
the problem with those with with the Blu-ray commentary as well is that there are certain there are certain things about it that if it's just a director and they're not very engaging, it's not a very fun experience to watch
Yeah,
it. But if you could watch if you could watch a commentary and they're having fun with it and it's like
yeah.
entertaining as well,
Mm.
and maybe that's the wrong way to look at it because I feel like those commentaries, they're not for entertainment purposes, they're for information purposes.
Yeah.
And but for me, the entertainment factor matters to me as well. So
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fair. Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. Yeah, I like that. I don't know if I have much more to ask you about your collection journey. Is there anything that you can think of that you'd like to add and enlighten us on? Or
I guess the only other things to add is that I, I will not ever convert and go to like the four packs of like, hey, you could get all of these movies in just like one disc. Like, no, I won't do that. It'll all be the individual movies on certain things because all
okay,
those packs, there's always one movie where it's like, I don't want this movie. Like, believe
ah,
it or
that's
not,
interesting.
I don't want the Son of the Mask in my movie collection or anything
Yeah,
like that as much as
that's
they're
fair.
trying to make it a thing.
Fair.
So
I like a
so
good multi. I like a good
oh
box set
yeah.
like that though. But
See, a
yeah,
box set is different than a multi-pack because if it's four individual movies, that's fine. If it's one of those multi-packs that has like one package, four movies, like no,
do you mean like
I can't do
one, like all four movies on the one disc, or just four discs within the one case?
four discs in the one case. Like
Yes, I like that.
if it's individual, see, I need to have the individual. Like each
Mm.
movie needs to be represented individually. Because
Interesting. So I have heaps of those sets because sometimes they're cheap. That's the cheapest way you
yeah,
can get the movies sometimes.
so I agree with that. Where I short circuit is because I would kind of shift a little bit sometimes as to how I arrange my movies.
Now we're
So
talking. Now we're talking.
so if I am arranging my movies, there was it's usually in alphabetical order.
Yep. Yep.
But because also I used to work at a number of movie rental places,
Hmm.
and that's just how I grew up. But from time to time, I change it up a little bit just to keep things fresh, where I'll do it based on similar color of the.
Oh yeah. Okay. Spine color.
So I've done that. I've done that based on, like, I guess, priority level. I've done things based on genre as
Mm.
well. So if I have those multi packs, where do I put them if they're in different genres?
I'll
Where
tell
do
you
I
where.
put them if it's in alphabetical order? Where do I put them, Adam? Where do I put them?
I have a special little section in one of my shelves that has all these multi-pack Blu-rays, and they're just there. And I know I've got that movie, and I know it's in a pack, and I just add like a box. I'll just call it a box set for lack of better phrasing, even though it's not a box set. But oh yeah, they just sit amongst each other like these. A lot of movies I have like these in Australia. They released a series of retro sci-fi, like these like sci-fi movies from the 50s and 60s in there, or retro horror, and there's a couple of movies from old horror movies and just things like that. And yeah, I love it. I mean, I do think because I have polled people on this, I think I'm one of the rare ones that likes that because they did a recent release in Australia of 9 movies in 3 different packs, and they're kind of themed. And one was Harold and Maude, and now 2 other movies in it. And I'm like, great! I've never been able to own Harold and Maude before. I want it. That's great. And then yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was $35 for those 3 movies. That's pretty cheap in Australia. It's probably like $8 in America. I don't know. But yeah, just put them in their own little section. Like I organize mine. I don't think I've ever discussed with you how I organize my collection, but it's I think similar-ish to some people. But I have my 4K separated from my Blu-rays and my DVDs separated from all of that as well. So I organize by format. I don't own a lot of actual movies on DVD because I've upgraded most of those, and I've only owned ones that you haven't ever had an upgrade or they're out of print. But all my TV shows and DVDs are on the one shelf. I have Blu-rays on one, 4Ks on the other. Have my Asian cinema separated, and then underneath that is where I keep those little
Mm.
multi-packs. Yeah, it's complicated.
Oh, see, but I was the same way when I arranged my movies as well, because again, this is where the short circuiting in my brain happens, is that I tried arranging them all in alphabetical order, and I kept the TV shows aside. But
Yeah.
the fact that occasionally the shelf would just like dip with the smaller size of the Blu-ray, I hated that.
uh,
I just could not stand
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Our
So
friend, our
I
friend
ended up
Shane organizes. He just puts whatever format, and it looks not that it looks bad. But yeah,
it's
it's not good for
let's
OCD.
let's just put it this way. It's a choice and not a
Mm,
choice that
yeah,
I am making with my collection, and there's
well
nothing wrong
put.
with that.
I
So,
don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's no right or wrong answer to it. It's just however your brain
right.
works.
So, and the last thing that I'll say is that if I do start up my collection again, I
Hmm.
already know what movie I'm getting first.
Oh,
And
lovely.
the reason why is because it's the first DVD I got, and it's the first movie that I converted to Blu-ray as well.
Okay.
And that's
Uh,
Moulin Rouge. Of all the
oh
movies,
wow. Wow.
for that to be a thing,
I
Moulin
don't
Rouge
think Moulin Rouge has a 4K yet, but it's very likely to, I would imagine.
at some point it would be. And I guess it's now tradition, I suppose. And for Moulin Rouge, I don't think they had a VHS copy of it because, well, maybe they did. I don't know, but I opted to get the blue or the DVD version of it because I got a PS2 one year and it had a
Ah,
DVD player in it. So I was like, I'll just get this on DVD instead. And when I got my first Blu-ray player, I was like, okay, I started my DVD journey with Moulin Rouge. I might as well start my Blu-ray journey with Moulin Rouge as well. And
hmm.
boy, the difference between DVD and Blu-ray with that was pretty
Yeah,
stark,
I
because
reckon.
that movie, like a lot of Baz Luhrmann movies, those are meant for spectacle, and there's a lot of cool things in there that's like, yep, this is why I go to movies, you know?
Yeah,
So I will give
that's
him
cool.
credit for that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I only watched Moulin Rouge for the first time. I'm going to say recently, but within the last 12 or 18 months, I was surprised how much I loved it. Because 10, 15 years ago, I'd be like, "There's no way I'd ever be interested in that movie." And then I watched it, I'm like, "This is fantastic. It's really good, so good."
So I saw that movie. I took a girl to go see it in the at the movie theater because
Hmm.
she wanted to see it, and I was like, I'll go, I guess. And she liked it, and she was like, yeah, it's fine. I'm like, I loved it. So
Yeah,
yeah, I guess this movie was for me more than you. So cool.
yeah, that is cool. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, I will close it out at that just in the interest of time. I probably think we could have another conversation about this at some point. It's been really interesting. I've seen the other side of the coin. But yeah, good to know what your first purchase would be when you come back into the game, if you come back into the game. Thanks very much for joining along and being part of the show. I do really appreciate it. It's especially well, I appreciate everything you've done for me personally in getting this podcast up off the ground and up and running, and all the work you do behind the scenes for all of for my loyal listeners tuning in. Yeah, it's changed a lot of my life for the positive. To be honest, I've met a lot of great people from doing this, and I wouldn't have been able to meet those people without your support in doing this. To be honest, Mike, and that I mean that 100% genuinely. It's yeah, really really loved what you've done for well, not just me. I mean, there's a lot of podcasts on on our network, and yeah, I think a lot of others would mirror my comments.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic that you started this podcast. It is one that I just know how passionate you are about it whenever I listen to the episodes, and that's something that I've always appreciated from you, whether if we're talking about Formula One or if we're
Mm,
talking about physical
mm.
media. When you're passionate about something, it just shows with the level of excitement that you have. So I appreciate everything that you do. Thank you for having me on. It was an honor to be on your podcast.
An honor to
So
have you
so thank
on.
you. Yeah.
No, no, thank you. It is truly an honor to have you on. The boss of the network, guys, Mike. If you enjoyed the show, hit me up on my Instagram page, KerbSide underscore collections. And if you are a collector and want to be on the show, yeah, send me a DM and I'd love to have you on. Or if you're thinking about starting a podcast, either hit Mike Hilty up on Instagram or the SPDM Crew Instagram page as
Mhm.
well. Any other social media? I think you're on Threads as well, Facebook maybe.
Yeah, so you can follow SPDM Crew on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, YouTube, Blue Sky, and I guess X for now. But all of those, you can check out our website as well, spdmcrew.com, and that you could contact us that way as well. We'd
Mm.
love to have. We're looking for more shows on the network, and it's just whatever you're passionate about.
Mhm.
I had someone reach out to me recently and said, I want to start a podcast about, joyful resilience. Like, okay.
Okay, that
Like, I'm
sounds
not really sure it fits with your
interesting.
network. Like, are you, is that what you want to do? Then let's figure it out
It
and
fits,
let's
yeah.
go for it. So it's true that a lot of our shows are pop culture centric, but that doesn't change the
Yeah.
fact that if you're passionate about something, then let's
Yeah.
figure it out. Let's figure it out together.
Yeah, absolutely. And just speaking, look, if you are still listening, thank you for that. But also, if you, yeah, just a second, if you are interested in starting your own podcast, if it has been in the back of your mind for some time, absolutely hit Mike up because I had been thinking about it for a very long time, and Mike put out the call in our SIF Pop group. And then I finally allowed me to pull my thumb out because Mike made it so easy to do. Like, it's Mike couldn't explain it all to you, but I really don't have to do much to get this
Mhm.
show running. It's just basically finding some guests. Will even help you find guests to come on your show. Like, there's just so much support he will offer you. So there's no excuse for you not to be doing it if you want to do it, to be honest, other than maybe buying yourself a good microphone, and they can come pretty cheap. So there's
Mhm.
really no stress around it. So yeah, again, Mike, thank you very much. I don't know what else to say right now, how to close this off, but thanks for being on. Thanks for listening, listeners, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Love you all. Bye.